What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazque, aka Unique Mazque, and back with another episode of Mazque Speaks. This is the fourth episode. If I'm not four straight weeks. That's like a whole month doing Mazque Speaks. It's a grind, but I like doing it. I really like seeing it come together at the end, but it is a bit of a grind. It's somewhat of a recap of what went on with the sport in the week of sports video games. And so, hey, I'm the man to give it to you. I am. So let's jump right into everything right now, which starts off with the NBA 2K League. And I'm telling you, every week it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. The anticipation is building. So I finished out my top 5 reported performers at each position according to the NBA 2K Lab. I did that earlier in the week. And then later in the week, we started seeing the emails roll out for the top 250 players. So essentially, the NBA and 2K has broken down the 72,000 player field down to 250, and that 250 are going to get or have already received face-to-face interviews via Skype, right? So just talking a little bit about some of the point guards that I pointed out back in the early part of this past week. Be Smooth J, Control, Mama, I'm that man. Stay in tune, aka I got the juice. Slime got jelly, light skin Poppy, Lanils, Mike Izzo, Tane 11 MVP, Sean the Leader, Charlie Hustle 2K, D Gilbert, Ryan Duran 2K. Who else got some love? VDH 2677, 4-Leaf 12, Raptor Gavitt, Ginger Fredette. We got, who else do we got? Terry O'Petty, Sleeties. We got BP to God. This is Bob 3, 2K Everett Jr., and King of the Castle. All of those guys or girls, I'm not sure who was which or if there's anybody that was a young lady in that particular mix, but all of those players were acknowledged in my Forbes article for the top 5 point guards with reported statistics. Quite a few of them, I know for a fact, received interviews. So that speaks to somewhat of the validity that we saw on the NBA 2K Lab for with them as a statistical reference. B Smooth J got his email, I'm almost positive. So did Control. So did Mama, I'm that man. And so did Stay in Tune. From what I checked, it didn't look as though Slime got Jelly got an email yet. But at the time that I went to press with this particular video, there was still some time left. So maybe he did get it. I don't think Light Skin Poppy had gotten theirs. Don't know about Lanils or Mike Izzo's or Tane 11 MVPs. I'd have to check. Sean the Leader, I know he and Charlie Hustle 2K were both still waiting on theirs. Don't know about D Gilbert or Ryan Duran 2K. Like I said, just because I don't know doesn't mean they didn't get it. VDH 2677, don't know. 4-Leaf 12, 4-Leaf 12, Raptor Gavitt or Ginger Fredette. I'm not sure if they got theirs. But I do know that Terry O'Petty, and I'm not sure if I mentioned Sleeties, but Sleeties got theirs. BP to God, I'm pretty sure got his as well. This is Bob 3, I don't know. 2K Everett Jr., I don't know. And King of the Castle, I don't know. But the emails are going. If my estimation is right, it looks like somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 or so have already gotten emails. So that means that a little over 100 are still left to still receive emails. I don't know. That number could be off. I'll probably try to get a better understanding of it on Friday and Saturday. Now, I did reach out to the NBA and to 2K to try to find out if I could get maybe a list of that 250, even once they're done, but they're not going to be sharing that list. So we'll have to depend on the community themselves in terms of who showed their email. A lot of people tweeted out their email to show that they had gotten it. So I don't know. A lot of people have already even completed their interview. I know Dimes had completed his, Speedbrook, and some others who had received their email on the first day. So we will see what happens on that front. The first person that I saw to get their email, somebody might have gotten it before him, but the first one I saw was Real Spade, aka Winners Stay On. And I'm going to put this email on the screen, or a little bit of the screenshot of it. So this is what it looks like. Congratulations. We are pleased to inform you that following the inaugural NBA 2K League Combine, you have been selected as one of the top 250 players in the world. All 250 players are advancing to the next stage of qualifying for the league, which consists of virtual interviews. Within the next few days, you will be contacted by a representative from the NBA 2K League to schedule your interview. Again, congratulations and best of luck, NBA 2K League. So the people who got that email, I know they were, for the most part, pretty happy about their email. So congratulations to all those people. Congratulations to the people who are still yet to get an email. And also, on top of that, let's talk a little bit about people who may not have gotten an email or who may not actually get an email. That's a tough situation, right? What do you do if you don't get an email? I mean, the field of applicants for this inaugural season is dwindling down. It's almost gone, right? 72,000 qualified, only 250 received personal emails, and 150 of those hopefuls only 150 of those hopefuls are going to make the league. So that means that there are going to be quite a few disappointed 2K gamers. So if you don't get an email, I got some solutions for you. Here's what you should do. First and foremost, stay classy, right? A number of hasty and immature members of the 2K community have already taken to Twitter to berate the game, those in charge of the process, and more. That is a bad look. So many of y'all don't realize that employers from a variety of industries check your social media before hiring you. Just because you've decided your dream of joining the NBA 2K League is over doesn't mean you should damage your online reputation by throwing a virtual tantrum. Stop it. Now, the next thing you should do, take some time before you decide your 2K future. I know you're probably upset or at least a little let down, but don't make any rash decisions about your 2K future. I heard a few people say that they won't even play the game anymore if they don't make the league. I think that's a little extreme. You got to remember why you started playing 2K in the first place. You played it because you thought it was fun. It's still okay to play for that reason. Also, you got to remember that this is just the first season of the NBA 2K League. There will be more, and the league is likely to expand as well. At least that's what I'm being told. So that means more opportunities. Still, truth be told, the NBA 2K League life may not fit everyone. This may have been a one-shot deal for you. And if that's the case, at least you did have the experience. There also may be other leagues forming too, so keep an eye out for alternatives. If nothing else, those smaller leagues could serve as a feeder for the NBA 2K League down the road. Now, if you want to try again in season 2, you need to stay visible. If you've gotten a hold of yourself and you decided to throw your hat in the ring for the league's second season, I'd advise you stay on team managers and operation coordinators' radar. We don't know exactly how the next round of newcomers will be chosen, but it's a good idea to remain in contact with the folks in charge of existing teams. If new teams are established, it would be a good way to network with the brass for those organizations as well. If you didn't make the top 250, and there has to be some reasons, right? You just didn't just not make it because for whatever reason. There's got to be a reason. You got to ask for feedback from the league, some team representatives, and anyone else who might know your areas of opportunity. The more you know, the more you can improve. Now, lastly, you need to start preparing for next season. So if this is, you've already decided, all right, I'm gonna give it another go, you got to start preparing for next season. Once you're armed with enough information, start trying to improve your game. Head back to Pro-Am with the combine specs fresh in your mind. Your preparation is going to be different now that you've had a taste of competitive 2K League play. You need to practice and ready yourself for another chance at the league next season. Don't give up. I know it looks nasty right now, but don't give up. I know, give yourself a little bit of time to feel some type of way, to be in your feelings or whatever it is you need to do. But you need to go ahead and bounce back from that and decide what you're going to do moving forward. It's just one season and there's more. There are more. So, all right. So let's move on for right now from the NBA 2K League. As usual, I got a nice interview lined up. This one's really interesting to me because of an exchange or some content that I put out a little bit earlier, like last week. I think it was during my evaluations of the small forwards. I made some critical analysis on a player, and quite honestly, he didn't take it too well. And I thought well, to be totally honest, my wife said, you know what, you should reach out to him and see if he'd be willing to come on the show and to discuss it. So that's exactly what I got. You guys see in the description, it's CSB Wrong Turn, aka Big Hearn. He's going to be on with me in a minute to talk about my evaluation, his candidacy for the 2K League, the whole nine, right? So before we get into that, we got a couple other things that I want to touch on. Let's start off talking about MLB The Show 18. There have a couple more trailers that came out, a little bit more of information. They talked about the new Diamond Dynasty that came out, the new Diamond Dynasty trailer, I should say. So that pre-release hype and the information reveal for the game is starting to really pick up. On Mondays, they always have a GameStop preview. So we got to see our first glimpse of the revamped Diamond Dynasty mode back on Monday. So a few features have come as far in the show universe as Diamond Dynasty. So they've really put a lot of work into D&D. And it appears to me that it looks like it's still growing. So I have the trailer playing right now, so you get an opportunity to see that. One thing that I really like is you kind of like time traveling through baseball history, if I can borrow a quote from the trailer. It to me is always a blast from the it's really cool when you get a video game that interweaves gaming with some history lessons. You saw that, I believe it was like NBA 2K11, NBA 2K12, where they had the Jordan Challenge, then they had the All-Star Challenge, the Legends Challenge. I love that kind of stuff. More than any other piece of news that was shared in the trailer for Diamond Dynasty, the new history-driven programs really got me. So I'm interested in seeing what those are about. You got flexible programs that let you choose which missions you want to play now. Diamond Dynasty can be a little intimidating to delve into because there's a lot of content. So adding some flexibility to the journey could work for some, but I'm a little bit worried that I'll get sidetracked without a definitive path. It's almost like playing an open world game, right? Almost, in my opinion. This is like a somewhat of a relevant analogy. Sometimes it's like great to have so many options. You run around and doing this and doing that, but sometimes you need some structure, and you're just like, oh, I wanted somebody to say finish this level. And so I don't know. Perhaps I'm wrong, and more perspective will come from the upcoming D&D stream. They do have Hall of Famer awards, so there will be specific programs in Diamond Dynasty that will offer award cards for Hall of Famers like Jackie Robinson, Cal Ripken Jr., and a whole bunch more. I'm going to talk about some of the legends that have already been revealed in the trailers. So they're going to also have an Immortal Legends Award. So Hall of Fame programs that I just mentioned will then feed into a journey that can lead to the acquisition of legend cards like Babe Ruth. They have a new rating system for legends. This is interesting. Legends ratings can now go beyond 99. So obviously they've done a lot to try to create a bigger gap between Hall of Famers and like today's All-Stars. I'm a little skeptical, so I have to see how this plays out in Diamond Dynasty. But as of now, I'm hoping it isn't in franchise mode when you import legends. You're going to get new souvenirs, so new hats, jerseys, bobbleheads, and autographed memorabilia have all been added to this year's mode. There's an update to the exchange system. Now it looks to have a new interface, and is also going to render rewards for completing specific tasks. One thing they didn't mention anything about upgrading the logo and uniform creation system. I think it's pretty cool as it is, but it is a little more difficult than a lot of the other uniform creators. And I know you get to do a lot of stuff, but you still can't, import an image. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's a little tough. They also revamped the creative player for Diamond Dynasty. Now your creative player in Diamond Dynasty will have progression tied into position-specific programs. I like the sound of that because it appears to add yet another layer or challenge to this feature that just seems to keep growing. So I talked to you a little bit about the legends, and you're going to see a little trailer on the screen about the legends now. There was a trailer for that came out, which is, like I said, the one on the screen. And there's a lot you can do. You can combine past favorite players with current players to kind of make a really nice like hodgepodge type of a roster, which I've always loved that type of thing. But here are the legends that you can spot in the trailer. Not all of them are new, but still cool. Carlton Fisk, Ken Griffey Jr., Reggie Jackson, Ozzie Smith, Wade Boggs, Bob Feller, Oral Hershiser, Jason Giambi, Ted Williams, Babe Ruth, Cal Ripken Jr., Frank Thomas, Nolan Ryan, Louis Tiant, Raleigh Fingers, Jorge Posada, Louis Aparicio, Vita Blue, Tom Seaver, Joe Morgan, Jackie Robinson, Mike Schmidt, Fergie Jenkins, Mike Piazza, Roberto Alomar, Albert Bale, Dennis Eckersley, Johnny Bench, Gary Carter, Jeff Bagwell, Don Sutton, Bruce Sutter, Ryan Sandberg, and Larry Doby. That's pretty cool, in my opinion. I'm digging that, right? So now we're going to stay on baseball for just a second, but we're going to shift to EA. Yeah, EA is affiliated with the baseball, but it's not exactly what you probably think, right? A lot of people have been waiting, longtime fans have been waiting on the MVP baseball series to return. EA hasn't released a baseball since 2005. And on Tuesday, we learned that EA would indeed assist in the distribution of a new baseball title, but it's only going to be for PC, and it is a text simulation series. It's Out of the Park Baseball 19, which is widely regarded as the best text sports game out there. But for people who like the live action games, this is probably not going to really do it for them. Out of the Park is known for their insane statistical tracking and the outstanding team and league management features. But a lot of people are put off by the fact that you don't actually see the action on the field. But Out of the Park is an officially licensed MLB and MLB Players Association title that offers one of the most in-depth management systems you can find in any sports game. Back in 2016, the Out of the Park series was awarded the PC Game of the Year. This newest version is going to come out on March 22nd. Have a little bit of a trailer going for you there. When it does release, it'll be available for all Origin users via purchase for $39.99 or as part of the $4.99 Origin Access program. Origin pre-order customers can even gain a 10% discount for the game itself. So that's probably only going to hit for a niche audience, but it is an audience nonetheless. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Still, everybody needs to keep their fingers, eyes, lips, nose, toes, and knees crossed for EA to make a baseball game. So at least Xbox people will have a decent baseball to play. So we'll see what happens, and we'll stay hopeful in regards to that. So let's talk about WWE 2K18 before we get to the interview. Also, while we're talking about WWE 2K18, I'm going to take another opportunity to talk about Black Panther. Trust me, it's related. So the newest Marvel Comics movie, Black Panther, to me, in my opinion, is just outstanding, right? If you have not seen it and you enjoy action films based on comic book characters, I highly recommend it. If you own WWE 2K18 on PlayStation 2 and you like Black Panther, you might be interested in playing as King T'Challa, aka the Black Panther, or even Eric Killmonger, his arch villain. Thanks to Ace Corp 1988 and Above the Law 88, you can get some stunningly accurate custom created versions of both characters. I got a little bit on the screen for you right now, a preview of both characters. You'll see Killmonger has two different outfits. Black Panther has just the one, but it's still cool. So all you need to do is search by the creator using the PSN IDs that I already mentioned and are on the screen. Above, just make sure you mention them when you do your searches. You may have to scroll over to the content creator and you just put in that PSN ID. It never ceases to amaze me, though, the talent that exists within the WWE 2K creations community. I mean, the creation tool itself is second to none, and the members of the community put it to great use. I am still waiting, though, for some good versions of M'Baku, Nakia, Okoye, Shuri, and Ulysses Claw. If anybody knows where I can find one of those, a good version of any of those 5 characters, definitely you leave the comment in this video and I will find them. I appreciate it, and I may even share that bad boy. All right, so it's time for the interview. We're going to go into this. The interview with CSB Wrong Turn, aka Big Hearn. There we go. What's going on, everybody? Like I told you before, I had a special interview. I say that every week, and like I tell y'all, every week I believe it. Every week I think that my interview is special, and that's because it is. That's because it is. So today I have CSB Wrong Turn, aka Big Hearn, aka SQ80. And if you're in the NBA 2K Pro-Am streets and you're in that community, you're probably somewhat familiar with him. If you're not, if you've been following my Forbes articles and you're looking at the players that were listed as the top small forwards, you should have probably come across his name. Now, this is a different kind of interview, right? This interview is different, and I'm gonna bring in my man in a minute. But this one's different because when I mentioned Big Hearn in the article, so I referred to him as CSB Wrong Turn in the article. But when I mentioned him, I had some positive things to say and I had some critical things to say. So after some thoughts about it and everything, I thought it would be a good idea, and it was actually even a suggestion by somebody close to me, that I thought it'd be a good idea to actually bring him on and have him have, get the opportunity to talk about the article, talk about his journey, talk about how he got there, what he does, the whole nine. So it's my pleasure to have Big Hearn, CSB Wrong Turn, here to talk to me. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much, man. It's a pleasure to have you there. So
Thank you.
let's just jump right to it, man. I want to know, like, when the article came out, I know you probably saw it or what have you, and I even saw some of the stuff that you tweeted afterwards. You know what I mean? But I want to know, like, I'm going to talk about, my thought process and the whole nine. But I want you to tell me and tell us, what was your thoughts?
Like, when I first read the article, I was happy. First of all, I respect the work. You know what I'm saying? So me making the page, the article. You know what I'm saying? I was happy. I was telling my guys, like, yeah, man, go check out the article. So, but as I'm reading it, it was a couple things that I didn't really agree with, but just for the overall, being on the article, I was happy about that.
Yeah. And so for anybody who's not there, if you didn't read it, I'm gonna read what I said. And I want you to, you know what I'm saying, say I want you to tell me for real, you know what I mean? Because
I'm definitely gonna, speak
because
on it.
I'm gonna explain to you where
Yes,
I'm
sir.
coming from and the whole nine. So
Yes, sir.
my section, like, okay, first of all, let me preface it by saying this. You know what? I can show y'all at the same time. Wow. Well, maybe we can bring it up on the screen and I can show you what I mean. Okay, so if you look at this, look at the CSB, you look at how many places CSB Wrong Turn shows up when you're talking about top performers at the combine or small forward. All right, so you're not there for points per game, but you can tell he plays the game on both ends of the floor. He's a versatile dude because he's fifth in offensive rebounds per game, and this at the small forward, and with 3.72. So he's hitting the glass. Assist, he's second, 6.49 assist. And in steals, he's first, 3.95 steals per game. So he's essentially stat sheet stuffing, right? Which is a good thing. I'm not saying like stat hunting. I'm saying he's doing all these different aspects of the game, because you can't stat sheet stuff if you're hitting this many categories. Stat sheet stuffing and stat monging to me is when I'm looking at you only got one particular category stacked up, and it's points, it's rebounds, because this is just what you're doing. And then I look at the way you got it. You know what I mean? And if you watch Big Hearn's streams, it's not like he's playing selfishly. He's playing the full out game, right? So what I wrote was Supreme Puller and CSB Wrong Turn are stat sheet stuffers who did their work on both ends of the floor. Passing lane obstruction, glass cleaning, and the requisite scoring. They check the boxes statistically. Supreme Puller appears to be ready for competition and conversion into esports culture. The only question is, will CSB Wrong Turn be considered a good fit for the culture the league is creating? Numbers are just one part of the equation. He says he won't change for the NBA 2K League, meaning language on social media, etc. But does he need to? I guess we'll find out. I wish him and others with the same persona / skill level nothing but the best. Okay, so So everybody else can be caught up with what was said and what I wrote. That was it. So, like I said, I was complimentary in several ways, but then I did ask that question at the end. So tell me your thoughts about that question, man.
Yeah, I feel like the question, you know what I'm saying, that's a good question. I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of the people in the community feel. I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of people in the league feel that's going to be running the league. But it's just pretty much that, you know what I'm saying? Like me as a person, like having to do something, having to change, that's what I'm gonna do in order to do what I need to do in order to have an opportunity in the league. So as far as like profanity and cursing or like language period, you know what I'm saying? Like I know like in my streams and stuff, you know, past streams, like I had that problem, you know, but hopefully with the right coaching and everything, and me myself as a man knowing what I need to do, that wouldn't be a problem. But where like I had to mix up because it was like when you said changing for the league and then like putting the change on it. You know what I'm saying? I felt like you put the change on it. Just factoring in just like cursing. When I said that, I meant like the way I am. You know what I'm saying? My personality.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? The way I carry myself as a man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I meant by
right,
I wasn't gonna change. But as far as like rules, I'm saying I'm a hardworking man. I have rules at my job, so rules are set in place to be followed. So I have no problem with following rules that's in place. You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yep, yep. I got. And you know what, man? For whatever reason, when after I gave this all the thought that I gave it, right? There's a reason why I believe that I reached out to you to do this to have this second conversation. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason being is because like I think this is something that everybody can learn from, like even like myself included, but especially like the NBA 2K draft hopefuls. Like there's a lot more to you than what came off or what comes off on Periscope or Twitter and all of that stuff. There's a lot more to you than that. You know, you like I read on a couple of your other things that you had written and other like because when I start doing this stuff, I go back like weeks and months and as far back as I can looking at the Twitter profiles, and I try to go as far back as I can with streams so I can see what's going on. But you know, I heard you reference your child. I think you said your kid's 7. You know, one time I was hearing you saying you work 65 hours a week. You know what I mean? You work hard, and that whole thing. And another time you was telling me, hey man, I don't get no sleep. But I'm thinking you talking about I don't get no sleep because I'm always at work. Either I'm at work or I'm practicing this game.
Yeah,
So,
man.
but here's the thing: when you and here's where I was coming from, right? When you use your platform that you got and that you're building, and you say something one way, it could easily come off as something that it's not.
Yes, I
And
agree.
it's 72,000 of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm going through a pot of 72,000 cats, now let's be real. We already know about 60,000 of them ain't really even that good at the game. You know what I'm saying? So we already know that, right? So maybe 12,000 are better than average. And then there's another 500 or 600 who are really, really good at the game. You know, you included in that category. But when you got that many people, if first of all, you only got so much time to see through, go through everybody's Twitter, everybody's streams and all that kind of stuff. But if I'm running through and I see a person who might have been on my list, and then they doing that, and then on top of that, they say, I ain't gonna change for the league. Now, I know you clarifying what you mean, but to somebody else, they might be like, oh man, this I don't know that I can work. I don't know that I can work with this cat because it's gonna be a struggle. Now I'm looking at you and I'm seeing you right now. You're not gonna be on that. You know what I mean? You're not gonna be on that. If somebody calls you for this league, you're gonna be like, dude, hey, let's do it. Let's go. I'm gonna be a man and I'm still gonna be me. You know what I mean? But I have no problem with rules. But I'll say this: the person that you projected on Periscope is not the person that I've talked to. both yesterday and today. And so that was my thing. And that's where I was trying to go with the whole thing. Do I believe that you should be in the league? 100%. I believe that. I do believe if I had a pick, if I had a spot on a squad and a spot, I would draft you. You know what I'm saying? But that's based off further conversation, not on what we saw on social media. You know what I'm saying? So, so let me ask this question. So can you share, if you don't mind, like your story and how you picked up? Like I put out a tweet a while ago about 2K resumes and all that stuff and how you got into 2K. Can you share that story?
Oh yes, no problem, no problem. Like I started off playing pro-am. Like me and the guys I was playing with, we got in pro-am late. You know what I'm saying? And like nobody really respected us. Like it was a group of us called LNC, the late night crew.
Right.
And we was basically called that because we would stay up all times of night playing the game to like when we started like young. Some of us were still in school. Some of us like had to work in the morning, and we would literally like start like 10 at night and play the game till like 4 or 5 in the morning every night. But we would play like the team up, all-star team up. So we basically like didn't start playing pro-am until they announced the first tournament. And like I feel like we took it by storm because it was a group of us and we had like qualified 3 teams. And like this is when like a lot of people like a lot of the top teams didn't qualify. We had got 3 teams in, so everybody's like, "Wow, who is these guys?" You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them like doing good in the combine now.
So, yeah. So at the 3 position, who are some of the best players that you matched up with that for a fact you more than held your own against?
I mean, like it's crazy because I never really matched up against like any of the top small forwards on that list. I haven't matched up against them. Like I played with a few people, but I haven't matched up against them. But I played them in like real pro-am. You know what I'm saying? Like Nate Island. You know what I'm saying? A teammate of mine is God of 2K. He's actually on the list. And you know what I'm saying? I play against those guys a lot in pro-am, but I never played against them in the combine.
So as a 3, like on the floor, what's your focus? What do you try to do? Like, you know what I mean, to be effective?
Me, like I'm like I consider myself a role player, but I also consider myself like a role player that can carry a load. You know what I'm saying? If the team not going good or we not scoring, but I pride myself in defense. You know what I'm saying? I'm always the guy trying to guard the best player on the other team. You know what I'm saying? Even in like, you know what I'm saying, the pro-am setting, I'm always the guy guarding the guy with the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's who I'm guarding. And I'm doing it with a small forward. You know, most guys have guys on the team that's a lockdown. Like this year, you know, most guys want the guy on ball with a lockdown, but I was doing it with, you know what I'm saying, a slasher shark, if you understand what I'm saying. But I was guarding the on ball guy with a 6'10" guy that's really not that fast, you know what I'm saying, but I was still guarding the best player on the other team with an archetype that's not really supposed to be guarding the ball and doing a great job at it. So I just feel like defense is why I pride myself at it, and I just go with the flow of the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so when you play with, like, who do you find to be like your ideal teammate archetypes? Like the archetypes, not so much the people, but the actual archetypes themselves. Like, do you like playing with sharps? Do you like playing with stretch 5s? Do you like playing with, athletic finishers from power forward and center?
Yeah, the athletic finisher is pretty good, but I love playing with pure playmakers. You know what I'm saying? Just watching them play. You know what I'm saying? Like I play off ball better when a pure playmaker out there with me. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much my favorite build. I don't have that build, but playing with that build is like my favorite build playing with.
So in terms of like the in terms of the style of offense, there's a whole bunch of conversation going on about 5 out, and most of the gaming managers and operations coordinators are saying they're not running 5 out in the league. So what kind of offensive sets are you most comfortable running? You like motion offenses. I mean, I saw Agent Zero and Sam Pham were working on running a triangle in the game. So which kind of sets are you most like
See,
interested in?
like me, you know, I just do what the game, what's the wave of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like that's me and my like all the competitive teams. They do what the game, what's on the game. You know what I'm saying? So 5 out and pick and roll was like the wave this year. So and like raps, but the bill I have, I wasn't really the one running those plays. You know, I love cutting. Like my teammates even tell like sometimes that I cut too much, and
Hmm.
I'm not that guy in the 5 out that just sit there when I have an open cut. Like I'll cut. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm a big fan of like motion, guys moving around, but it's like it's hard to do that when like 5 out is like what it's basically what 2K allowing us to do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the play of the year. Like last year, it was like pick and roll. You know what I'm saying? It was like the best thing to do last year. But
Hmm.
it's like now, like the guys are running like a high low pick and roll, and that's like good. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been seeing like all the top teams do it. That's like the best set.
Did you notice a big difference with the effectiveness of 5 out in the combine? Like the difference? Did you notice a drop off?
I mean, like no, it's like you can really run 5 out in the come. I never like the PGs I was playing with. It was never a chance where they could even run 5 out, being that like the archetypes that was out there. Because people change their games and change their whole lineups for the 5 out to cater to the 5 out, which means like a shooting big and like
Hmm.
everybody on the floor had to be able to shoot at least
Right.
the corner three. And I'm pretty sure all the centers was like rebounding athletics or like athletic rebounders or you know what I'm saying? Like they can't really hit that corner three effective. So pretty much they was like pick and roll, pretty much. So
Yeah.
you couldn't really run 5 out in the combine. I don't know if like guys who were used to 5 out had problems, but I'm pretty sure like 5 out was just out of the question in the combine.
It was out of the question. It was absolutely out of. There's no way in the world you could effectively run 5. I don't know. I don't know what 5 shooters you would have had on the floor, because the highest percentages I was coming across was like 60%, and
Yeah,
that was like the absolute highest. And if you, yeah, and I'm sure those were 60% on open shots, and you're not gonna get open shots all the time running 5 out. So you got to be able to splash some with handout and contested ones if you're gonna run that offense. But yeah, so no, I don't personally think it was possible, but I was trying to see if there was anybody else who thought, or what maybe, I mean, because as much combine footage as I watched, which is more than I can count, I don't recall ever seeing anybody successfully running
yeah,
5 out. I
yeah.
saw a
It
couple
was
people
rough.
try to do it at the beginning of games,
Mhm.
and then after 5 missed threes and no offensive rebound, then they had to come out of that. They had to come out of that. I do believe there's a lot of people who spent the first week and a half of the combine trying to get used to not being able to run 5 out.
Yeah,
And I think that hindered a lot of people. Definitely a lot of people. It may have even hindered some of these really big name guys.
yeah,
I'm talking about the
yeah. I
big
agree.
name guys. Um, one thing that I noticed, and I definitely want to give you props and the other people who sent their stats in the NBA 2K lab. I looked at it like almost like the real combine, right? And you notice like in the NFL and in the NBA, you'll have some players that'll be like, I'm not gonna play at the combine. I'm not gonna whatever. To me, the cats who didn't send their stats in to the NBA 2K lab, that's pretty much what they was doing. They
Yeah,
were saying that I feel like my status is so high, and that people know me, and people going to look at my statistics from the combine, that it's going to speak for itself. And I don't need to put myself out there at the NBA 2K lab like that for everybody to see what I have and haven't done. So that's what I feel like. Now, that's just my opinion. That's not,
yeah.
I
I
don't,
kind of feel the same way.
yeah, that's just my opinion. I can't say that for a fact because then nobody specifically tell me that, but that's the way I think about it. So for y'all that did send your numbers in, especially you guys who have any type of notoriety, like Dev Goff sent his in. Now that was real. That was real. Moody sent his in. That's real. Goofy sent his in. That's real, dude. These are guys who most people know, you know, in the community, and they sent their numbers in. So to me, that says something. But man, I want you to, like, when you get your you know, if you get your interview or you get an opportunity to be called in for that top 250, tell me what you're gonna do.
And like that's gonna be a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And like God really been blessing me my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So it just me getting the interview. Like I feel like that's just gonna be all I need, and me telling my story is gonna be all I need to do, and that's gonna help me. You know what I'm saying? Get drafted.
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask this question: if you don't get the call, what you gonna do?
Man, it's like I don't put so much into this 2K, like going all the way back. I'm 30 years old now. You know what I'm saying? It's like I really been juggling my family, 2K, and working for so long that if my name not called, like it'd be like heartbreaking, man. I don't even know if I could still like play 2K if my name not called. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that I'm gonna stop completely, but as far as you know what I'm saying, getting off those 14, 12-hour shifts, coming home to play 2K, knowing I have to be back to work the next day, like I'm not gonna be. I might get online or play a game or two. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely not gonna be like like hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Like skipping over things that I need to do to play. I'm not gonna do that again. I'm not gonna do that. That's
Okay.
just man, being real.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. I will say this though, and you know, this is just my opinion. You know, it's just this just the first season.
Yeah.
You know, and there, I know for a fact that there will be more teams added next year,
Hmm.
and there's going to be other things, other different opportunities, and things like that. So I don't know. I would probably say, you know, you don't want to wait and see what happens, how it all goes down, the whole nine. But I definitely understand what you're saying for sure, because when you put in all that work and time and for something, and you know, it's definitely a punch in the chest. You know what I mean, for sure. So I understand what you're saying, but man, I appreciate having you on today, having the opportunity to talk about you know, the article and just the game itself. Period. And as I said in the article, man, I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope and pray that you do hear your name called.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I
Yep,
appreciate you
yep,
having me on and everything, man. Thank you.
for sure, for sure. All right, that is all I have for you today. I appreciate you jumping in, watching another episode of Mazque Speaks. Be on the lookout next week for another episode, another interview. Hope you enjoyed the CSB Wrong Turn. Hope you enjoyed the CSB Wrong Turn interview, as well as the other sports video game and content. Until next week, I appreciate you. God bless and peace.